What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Ross Reviews, where today we are driving a Ford Mustang Bullitt, and this car, it is something special. Now, this is a tribute car based off of the hit movie Bullitt. I believe there was 3 generations of these cars, obviously the original being featured in that movie, and it was a GT390 fastback, and let me tell you, it stole some hearts, that car. Not sure if the movie did with Steve McQueen, but that GT was one hell of a sweet ride. And it's the little details in this Bullitt Mustang that really do make it special. You know, in this dark green, it's in the same color as what the original car was. You know, even down to the shifter here, it's in this very cool looking kind of white cue ball. And it is so satisfying to run through the gears in this car, I tell you. Even down to the wheels, these are 19-inch wheels. They got that kind of retro look to them. You know, they're probably not my taste, but you know, altogether, this car is a good-looking package. It really is. Now, just before we continue with this Bullitt Mustang, if you have not already, please go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell notification so you get updated on all our weekly uploads. Now, this Bullitt Mustang, let's get into it. I am not a huge fan of the Mustangs. I like them. I think they're fine. They're fun to drive. You know, the big reason I don't like them is because there's too many of them. I see them everywhere. I don't particularly think they're that special. And this Bullitt right here changes all of that. Listen to that auto rev matching. It is addictive, I tell you what. The soundtrack of this 5-liter Coyote V8, naturally aspirated, is something else. Let me tell you, the crackles, the noise, this thing likes to make noise, and oh, it's good. Oh, yes. Now, under the bonnet in this Mustang, these have the 5-liter Coyote V8 engine. They're naturally aspirated. Same engine that is in the regular Mustang, though this one does make some more power. This particular one is making 480 horsepower and about 420 pound-foot of torque. And let me tell you, you can feel that torque. It's fast. This car is quick. Now let's get into the 5 questions. We always start off with sound. Now this particular car does have an active exhaust system, so we can go through some different driving modes and exhaust modes here. So, you know, you can put this thing into quiet, and it is relatively quiet, you know, for a big naturally aspirated V8. You can chuck it into Sport, Sport Plus, racetrack mode, which pretty much I always just leave it in racetrack because you get some lovely, lovely crackles and backfires in it. So we're in racetrack mode right now. Let's see how she sounds. Oh, oh yes. And then when you come around these corners, auto rev match right into second. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's quick, this car. Oh my goodness. Handling is actually really good in this car. So we've got electronic dampers in here, so we can adjust the suspension to how we want it. If we want to go to comfort mode or race mode, you can make it quite soft or stiffen it up. And let me tell you, it actually really does do the job. So at the moment, I'm in drag strip mode, which you gotta love a car that has drag strip mode. So, you know, it's fairly firm. It's flat in the corners, but it's not harsh. It's not. And I think because there's a bit of tire meat on these wheels, you know, they kind of absorb a bit of the road there for you. And the steering is actually really, really good. It's, you know, you can adjust the steering wheel feedback as well, which is just nice to have, you know, adjustments like this, because you can really dial it in to how you want it. And the steering is good. It is actually really good. I can't say it's not, because there's hardly any vagueness in the center here. The car is, you know, really flat, and it's fairly sharp for what it is. It's good. Now, practicality. Well, this is a two-door muscle car, and you know, if you want to move people around, it really ain't any good. You do have two back seats there, but they are extremely useless. Don't even bother trying to get in the back. I tried. Very, very difficult. Now, if you had really small children or something, maybe on a short road trip you could put them in the back. I don't think you would be voted as Father of the Year, but you could do it. The good thing about this car, though, is that you just do have so many features here. You've got your digital gauge cluster, which is absolutely brilliant. You can change the drive modes. It changes the screen. You can customize it. It's very clear, easy to read. There's track apps in here. And all in all, there is just zero complaints from the gauge cluster. You've got Ford's sync system here, which is a great infotainment system. So you got navigation, Bluetooth, anything you want to do, you can do it in here. And it's easy, it's simple. That is the great part of this car, is that pretty well every feature is quite easy to understand and use. Some skippies. Gotta be careful for them. Welcome to Australia. Now, the fuel in this car, it is a 5-liter V8, so, you know, it's gonna be thirsty. I believe it's claimed around the 12 liters per 100 Ks, which, you know, it's not terrible, but it ain't the best either. But then again, you're not going to get a car like this to worry about fuel. And don't even get me started about the 4-cylinder Mustangs that they released, because just why? Now, price. This is where the Bullitt is kind of questionable. Now, from new here in Australia, these were a $100,000 car. $100,000 car. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. Now, I will say, this car does feel special. It does feel properly quick. It has basically everything you would want. And, you know, it's comfortable and nice to drive. But $100 grand, that's pushing it. Though, this is a collector's car, because there were only 700 of these allocated for Australia. So they are quite rare. Now, on the used market, these have lost a little bit of money, but not a massive amount. These are around 2 and a bit years old now, and this particular one is for sale at Car Giant WA right now for about $80,000. And that seems to be kind of the going rate, anywhere between kind of that 80 and 90,000. So it is a lot of money, And will it keep depreciating or will it go up in value? I really don't know, because yeah, that's a hard question. It is a collector's car. Let's get that clear, but I think you'd have to keep this car for quite some time before it's worth 100 grand again. Now we really do have to talk about these seats, because these seats are just heavenly. They really, really are. These Recaros, every Mustang should have these Recaro racing seats in them, because they are just so comfortable. They look the business. And my goodness, they support you. They actually support you. And this being an American car, all of the seats are usually designed for, Big Bobby and, Fat Joe. But I fit in this car really well, and these seats still hug me. So I am absolutely in love with the driving position, the shifter, the seats, the noise. It's all good. And just sending it here again. Woo! It's good. I could shift this car all day. I really could. I do like as well, though, how the gauge cluster kind of lights up as soon as you get to a certain point in the rev range. So it kind of lets you know that, you're starting to get higher up on the rev range here, guys. So prepare to shift. It's quite nice how it does that. It gives you this kind of orange glow and lets you know that, you're getting high up there. So let's change. It's quite cool. And I do kind of like how it illuminates in purple and stays lit up when you've gone past a certain speed or past a certain RPM. It's kind of nice. Now, let's just get into the speed section here. I've been struggling with this launch control. So, launch control is on. I can see the little LC at the bottom of the screen there. It's in drag mode here. So, and even if we go into our track apps, acceleration timer, 0 to 100. Let's hit start OK, and we're basically just going to send it. Oh, that worked a little bit better. .7. All right, so I think what was happening was my launch control was just set too low. So I had it at 3,000. That's sort of where the factory setting is. I bumped it up to about 38, and it definitely hooked up better that time. I had a little bit of wheel spin, but it actually did hook up. I believe this car is claimed at about 4.8 seconds, but I think that is with the 10 speed. So we would be doing well to try and capture that. But we're going to give it one more go here. All right, let's do this one last time. So we've set it up to 4,000, and we're gonna do acceleration 0 to 100. We're in the drag strip formation, which is so cool. Look at these lights, how it sets up like a drag strip. So we'll give it a go here. Bugged. 6.5, and we bogged out massively. We bogged massively that time. So, this is quick. And if I could figure this launch control out, it doesn't feel like it's engaging, right? It bogs the car down a lot. It really bogs down, and I don't think I don't believe it's going right. There is something I'm missing, I'm sure. Leave it in the comments if you know what I'm doing wrong here. Or maybe I'm just a bad shifter, I don't know. But Yeah, it seems to really be bogging out when I release the clutch. I've tried it slowly releasing. I've tried dumping the clutch. Yeah, and 6.5 seconds is the best I could get. But even then, we did have a significant kind of lag. So, yeah, we shouldn't have any lag. This is a naturally aspirated engine, so there definitely is a trick I am missing. Yeah, leave it in the comments if you know what I'm doing wrong. Now I'm going to finish the video off here today, so a huge thank you goes out to Car Giant WA for allowing me to take out their Bullitt Mustang. This car is for sale currently, so if anyone is interested, a link will be in the description below. So yeah, this was the Bullitt Mustang. I think this car is loaded with character, a lot of fun to drive, and it really does feel that much more special than the regular Mustang. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please remember to hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're new here, and we'll see you on that next video.